outside. Hey, hi. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the room. Hello, hello, hello. Gato has the zoomies, and I'm gonna spray him if he doesn't leave my legs alone. Um, Hi. I got my wine. Get you some wine. Let's get some wine. Huh? Gato. Get, move. Yeah. Find yourself somewhere else to be, sir. Ramsterdam. I know you said you were going to go to sleep, but hi. Hi, Ramsterdam. I know it's almost 1 a.m., but thank you for joining. Thank you for your support. I'm glad you're here. Glad to see you. I love outside. I love the new Cardi B album, guys. And I have a hard time listening to any album all the way through. I don't know what happened. It's like no albums really touched my soul. I feel like the last album that really touched my soul from a dance perspective or from a perspective is honestly Bruno Mars 24 Karat. I don't know what to tell you. Every track on there to me hits. And then prior to that, it was probably Amy Winehouse. And I mean, like prior to that, I feel like, you know, Baduism and Mama's Gun, they really did something to me. But I'm trying to think any of Adele's 21 all the way through back and forth. Any like yeah. hmm Her first two, 19 and 21. But like 25, a couple of tracks. 30, mm, you know? Thank you, Nakia. Hi, Calandria. Hey, Joy. What's the last album you were able to listen back and forth? I wish that I felt music so deeply the way I do now. It's like it feels like for me that there was a time frame in which music seeped into my soul, and that time frame is a capsule, and after that no other full length albums have been able to seep in. It's like my cup runneth over. It's at the tippy top. No albums for me. Like I can listen to individual songs that really like make me feel a thing, but not a song, not an album from top to bottom. 24 Karat Gold and every song on there I was like, oh, if the first 3 songs on an album make me, then it usually have a good thing. Now, I will say though that rap has never done that to me. Like even Cardi B's new album, I feel like song number 2, so I like Hello, I like Outside, I like Pretty and Petty. I think I like Magnet. Obviously, I like Up. Um but yeah, I really Outside, Pretty and Petty, and Magnet. But then there's another one. Oh, I like Bodega Batty. The one that sounds like an West Coast. Which is the one that sounds like? There's one that has like a West Coast beat that I really enjoy. But even then, I don't know the name of it. You know what I mean? I'm not like sitting here like, oh yeah, that song whole all the way through. Whoop de whoop. It just keeps show me the complete album. Yeah, I think I like Hello. I think I like Magnet. I need to check Magnet. Bodega Batty. Man of Your Word. I really like that one. Outside, Pretty and Petty. I think maybe Check Please I like. I don't like any of the ones that have the girl singers on it. Like to me, Tyla, Summer Walker, Selena Gomez, they don't hit. I do like Pleasure Principle or Principle, but that's because it's got Janet in the back. I need to listen to Killing You Hoes again. Anyways, you should check out Solange, Don't Touch My Hair. You know what? I have listened to Don't Touch My Hair. Let me see if that's one of the ones I can listen to. Don't touch. Okay, ready. Okay, hold on. Let me see if it'll show me the full album. I don't have time for this. I'm gonna listen to it. I'll listen to it and I'll let you know. Because sometimes I don't know how to like, oh, go to album. Thank you. It's just like all this shit. Oh yeah, I like Rise. I like Weary. I like Cranes in the Sky. Let me listen to the whole thing again and I'll remind I do remember liking a lot of these songs though. But then she reintroduced like interludes and girl, it's not 1992. I don't need an interlude. Okay, just play me the next song. Play me the next song. Hey. Oh wow, hey, welcome. Glad you made it. Hi, Chantal. Becca Meow Kitty or Kitty Meow. Linda is also streaming right now, so I wanted to pop in and say hi. Who's Linda? Oh, Antwi? Hi, tell her I said hi. Antwi, right? That's who you're talking about? Hi, Ty's Way. I never been either just singers on an album or just either the Nose Girls. I never been into either of the just singers on an album or either of the Nose Girls. Thank you for popping in, Becca. Hey. Girl, I'm telling you, we be fighting for the prime time. I just can't go live any later because of what am I doing? Oh, I have work. Oh, okay, Linda. Yeah. Linda Antwi. Well, tell her I said hey. Tell her I said hey, girl, hey. She gives you all the tea. I'm not gonna give you the tea. She got all the information. When she posted that picture of Jabri, I said, "Oh, okay." If you want to look like an anime black Afro, he looks. I said that he looks like Afro futuristic AI, and he also kind of looks like black anime as well. I was like, if Jabri don't go on, I always wait for Linda to drop the tea because, first of all, I don't be searching for the tea, and if Linda is like a professional, she's like a real journalist. So she has that integrity where she needs to wait until her resources and her sources are valid. And she's also not trying to be like super mean, you know? Hi, Jess. Jasmine, you know what? I know you're doing all the heavy lifting, and I did look. I figured out how to find out who is a moderator, and I found out that it's you, me, Shannon, Quasi, and then some other folks that must have changed their name because I don't recognize them. But then I was like, who else wants to be a moderator? So that's what I'm gonna ask. Who else wants to be a moderator? Let me know if you do. Living Queen, hi girl. I mean, not that I don't get spammed anymore because I don't have like over 200 people in the rooms like it used to be. It used to be a lot of people in the rooms, but that's fine. All right, so we are gonna get started in 10 minutes. And it is 8 minutes and 15 seconds. So let me prep because your girl gets distracted. Gato, if you don't leave me alone. If you don't leave me alone. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, girl. That's how I used to put on lip gloss as a kid. Right here. And then it's like, I think it's because I wasn't allowed to truly have it. Like, I remember one time I would put copious amounts of Vaseline on my lips, and a church lady was like, "No, baby, you don't have to do all that." I was like, "They won't let me wear makeup," and here I am, barefaced. Yeah, anybody that wants to be a moderator, let me know. Okay, what is this one? Yes, please do. Every song is also check out mixtape by Erykah Badu, but you can't use my phone. Okay, I'll check that out. But you can't use my phone. It's one of my drag songs. Okay, we're gonna get started soon. Here we go. I'll tell you my drag songs. You'd be surprised. It's Shoop by Salt and Pepper. Work Bad Girls by Donna Summers. And hey guys, it's Wahima. But just call me Wah. Melanated. Welcome to my recap of Life After Lockup. This is season 6, episode 19, DNA All the Way. My name is Wah, and I do recaps of relationship reality TV shows such as Love After Lockup, Life After Lockup, Love During Lockup, 90 Day Fiance, TOE, HEA, all the ways, every which way you can go, before, after, during, Seeking Sister Wives. So if you are at all interested in that content, go ahead and join your girl on Mondays and Tuesdays at 6 p.m. CST, where we can talk about these shows. If you guys are a part of the replay gang, meaning that you're not in the live currently, please go ahead and check the description box below. If you see anything scrolling across my screen and you get the hee ha-has and you want to tip your girl, you can do so here. You can also give a thanks on YouTube. You have to find it. It's a 3 little buttons. It's a thanks, but it's really helpful for those international girlies. So yes, let's join. All right, you guys, let's jump right in. Let's talk about Brooke and her disrespectful A. Let's just go on ahead and talk about it. Because the way that girl came up in that lady's house, I don't care if she sat on the curb and commiserated with Kathy for 2 hours. You don't give you no right to walk up in any woman's house and be like, "And get your son, get your son." No. Somebody just needs to bop Brooke on the head so that she understands that she is not it and never will be. Not it and never will be. That shit is so rude. She gonna tell these people, okay, in their own house. And then the father-in-law is like, well, that's what you call a toxic relationship. Oh, is that what it's called? Thank you, Dr. Phil. Thank you for that insightful comment. Oh, toxic? Thank you so much. I mean, God, get him in the White House. Let him help the president because he's got all the answers. He knows what's going on. So, first of all, we start off with JK at Alex's house. And Alex is like, James, if you don't get over here and stop acting like you don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth and you don't speak English as a first language, you are in my face now only because you think that I might have your baby. But where were you the other times, huh? No, you were not here. You were not in my face. You only came to me when you were mad at that girl. And now that you're not mad at that girl, you're in my face again. He's like, well, what was I supposed to do? And she was like, make a choice. Shit or get off the pot. That's what you're supposed to do. And he's like, all right, I gotta go. She's like, I've been telling you to go. Here's my thing that pisses me off. If I keep telling you to leave my house, and then all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, it's your idea. Like, yeah, I gotta go. No shit. No. Oh, now you gotta go because I'm making sense. And you know your little lame arguments aren't working anymore. And so anyways, he got another woman on the phone calling him by his full name. She said, James Keith, what is your problem? Why can you not answer this phone? I have called you X amount of times and I know the phone is in your hand. Of course, she's cussing at him. And then he is going to be like, you see what I get? This is why I act this way. I can't, how am I supposed to be a good person when I got people treating me this way? I'm sorry. Is it that you do not deserve to be treated in such ways? It feels like you do. It feels like you do, boo. It feels like you are laying in the bed that you have made. It feels as though you are sowing what you have reaped. So he gets to his mother's house. He sits down and the mother's like, you can't be this stupid. You need to grow up. And he's like, another woman telling me I'm doing bad. And I just want to know, what is the thoughts that go through your brain that you don't think you're doing bad? Like, how do you suck at life so much? How does one just suck at life? I mean, listen, I'm not saying that his life is good and I want to trade places with him at all, but I just don't understand how these people get up in the morning and put the Diet Coke or the Mountain Dew to their lips and have to smoke a cigarette. Like, I just don't understand. Is life just that simple for most people? Well, I wish it was simple for me. So he gets up off the table and he's like, tell Brooke I'm not here if she calls. And his mother's like, I'm not lying to Brooke for you. And he's like, well, tell her I ain't here. So he goes into the shower and then knock, come Brooke. Knocking at these people's door like she the police. And they're like, hello. And she's like, hello. And I said, and she gonna skirt past that man. That man wasn't fast enough to stop little old Brooke from getting past him. She gonna roll up on Kathy, put her hand on the what I'm sure is a dirty wall. Rest her hand like this. So where's your son? Kathy's like, I don't know. He's not here. Well, I see his car in the driveway. Kathy's like, okay, well, he's in the shower, girl. They are so bad at lying. I was like, why even lie? Just say he's in the shower. Oh, okay. So we gonna see. We gonna see because you're lying ass traffic land son. So then she gonna go to the bathroom. He locked the door because he heard her coming in. And she's like, oh, since when do you lock the door? He opens the door. He's like, what do you want? And I was just like, then he's gonna start to pretend like he didn't know she called him. He said, I didn't even get a call from you. I said, what? Okay, I'm sorry. This is not MCI from like 2008. Okay, you got the call. There is a call log on your phone. Messages were left. What are you talking about? You didn't even know. Who are you talking to? So that would have been Brooke's time to leave. But of course, she wants the drama. She want to know everything that's going on. She want to tell him about himself and cuss people out and act a fool. And then these people gonna say, "Oh, this is a quiet neighborhood. This is quiet. You can't be over here yelling." And I said, "This is a quiet neighborhood, not with y'all living in it." They already know who you are. If this is a quiet neighborhood, they already know who y'all are on the block. Because let me tell you, as somebody who grew up in a quiet neighborhood, we knew those that had the propensity to not be quiet. We knew who they were. So they already know to expect some shenanigans out of this house, especially when their toothless son gets out of prison. Oh, they know. They know. So anyway, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you can't act this way over at this house. You can't do all this over here. We this, you can't come over here no more. And I'm like, say it to her face. Say it to her face. Don't have JK saying it because JK ain't right in the head. He said, when did you call me? I wanted to throw my whole. I was like, when did you call me? I'm not on Brooke's side because she's crazy. But when did you call me is wild. When did you call me deserves a punch in the face. When did you call me deserves a slap in the belly. When did you? And then they said he went for a walk. Remember when they said he went for the walk? And she said, your fat ass son ain't going for no walk. The whole entire family is sitting on the couch, unable to get up without a little bit of assistance. And you gonna call JK fat in front of them? The audacity. The audacity. She said, your fat ass son ain't going for no walk. You can't talk like this in my parents' house. Y'all, it was a wild place. It was a wild time. It was a wild place. All right, you guys. Anything else to say about them? If you got the hee hee ha ha's and want to give your girl a tip, you can do so by the options down below. Megan says she threw that hand up at the stepdad saying, that car pulling up would have been the first responder because I called the ambulance. I called her an ambulance. That is what I'm saying. She went into them people's house and was disrespectful. The way my mom would have had JK on the porch with Brooke. She don't give up. She don't at all. She don't care none at all. She went up in them people's house and acted any kind of way. You can tell Brooke hasn't gotten her beat enough by the right person to sit her down. That's what I'm saying. She's like, where I'm from, you talk ish, you get hit. And I was like, oh girl, then you must have been quiet because you ain't had enough people bop you upside the head to show you what's going on. Now I don't support violence, but sometime folks need a little not a reminder, but they need to just understand that they can't do anything they want to. And that's also the reason why she's doing that, because she knows she can get away with it. She thinks she's better than them. She knows she can get away with it. Whose house she gonna run up and cut up in there like that? Not her mama house. Who's you gonna talk to like that? Okay, let's move on to someone a little less inflammatory. Let's move on to Will and Courtney. Okay, I have questions. The timeline is not clear because we see across the screen 2 weeks out of prison. Now, this is obviously 2 weeks since she got out of prison the second time. Okay, and there's no more snow on the ground. Remember when she first got out of prison, wherever she was, there was a large amount of snow. So I'm like, even if you guys, for those of you who don't live in snowy places, even if snow happened 2 weeks ago, there would still be snow. Now, wherever she lives is rainy. So maybe wherever she was staying, it's not, because that could happen in California. You could stay with somebody in Big Bear and it'd be snowing, and then you come down and it's raining down below the mountains or not in the mountains. So maybe that's the kind of situation that she's in, because she's currently in Portland. So maybe wherever Mark lives is in the mountain and wherever she's staying is not in the mountains. So maybe that explains what's going on. But I'm like, 2 weeks, that's it? 2 weeks, she's signed papers. She has gotten with Mark, and maybe even her homegirl, that person who picked her up and took her to the pawn shop. Wasn't that after Mark? Like, a lot has happened to that girl in 2 weeks. My life has never ever been, I don't think, just that interesting. So many things have not happened. So the way that they posted this is very weird, because they give it to us with the second to last episode of the season. I think this is only going to be 20 seasons or 20 episodes. Or sorry, 10 episodes. And so, yeah, they get there and they're doing their final talks. And this is the first time that we have ever seen a couple who's no longer together doing their final confessional or interview together. He is there and he's like, I loved her, and silly me for trusting somebody, and I was just lonely, man, and I don't know why I did it, and she didn't even try, and blah blah blah. And from his perspective, the moment he left Portland to go back to San Francisco, she stopped contacting him. And then they showed us footage of her ignoring his calls. But I'm like, that's not the footage of her ignoring his calls. Like, that is her after he didn't pick her up from prison. And the way that they sold it to us was that, he left for Portland. I don't know if then she started to ignore him and then ended up in prison, but it's not clear to me. And maybe I just, have let things go out of my brain because, who cares? But it feels like the timeline from his perspective is he left Portland, she stopped talking to him, and then went to jail, and then expected him to pick her up from jail. And he was like, no, I can't pick you up from jail because it will just be feeding your bad behavior. So then she felt unsupported and unloved, and then started to stay with Mark because her husband wasn't taking care of her. And then he drew up papers to get their wedding annulled. And they have been married for less than 6 weeks. So this whole process from regular Love After Lockup to the end of Life After Lockup has been 6 weeks. That's crazy. So then he says that he is really sad that she showed up to the interview with some random dude. And so she's pretending the whole time, like, yeah, just my friend or whatever. And she's not pretending. She said it's just my friend, but just code for anything. She said Mark was just her friend too. So he's like, I trusted a woman who just wanted to be with other men. And I was like, I think what it is that he doesn't understand is that she's also said it, she doesn't know how to survive on her own. Whatever choices she made from her formative years, and she's still in her formative years, has caused her to be the kind of person who has to swing from relationship to relationship or man to man because she is not sure and secure in the fact that she can take care of herself without someone to support her. Except for when she's committing crimes. Except for when she's setting people up to be carjacked, right? And so she needed that constant supervision and that constant support that Will could not give her. And it's not that he's wrong for it. He wasn't the right person for her. She needs to get sober and figure out her life and do her own thing. And so with that becomes shaky ground. And so she's going to go back to her old ways of trying to get money from men. Now, I don't know if she is not comfortable working in the clubs, but why doesn't she just go be a dancer? I mean, listen, I always feel like it's a viable option for any woman who wants extra money. Like, go just do sex work. Go be a dancer. Hi, Marshy Endeavor. Thank you for popping in. And so I'm confused as to anyway. So she then hee ha-has at his hurt, and then is like, oh yeah, that guy that dropped me off, I just met him yesterday. I kind of just brought him here to make Will feel some kind of way. And she's like, well, you know, it's over. He's just mad because I moved on. And he's like, the crazy thing is that we had sex the other day. And I'm like, how long ago? I don't want the other day. Tell me dates. Give me times. Give me timelines. So he's upset. And he's like, you're laughing at my pain. I was like, girl, if you don't stop crying. So Joseph said, Will's pissing me off. Will wanted a divorce and Courtney gave it to her, gave it to him. Yet he still gets mad at her for sleeping with other men like they're still together. Yeah, he just doesn't understand that, you know, she is in survival mode at all times. And there's no, like, I'm just going to chill. There's none of that. She's going to need somebody to support her, to be there with her, to like be a companion. She is someone who cannot be left alone, which to me means that she's not ready for sobriety. Okay. Next couple. Let's move on to Kiana and Deodric. This is another one that I feel is very delusional. The fact that Kiana keeps saying that Joella wants to be her is, to me, kind of double-edged. Because I want to be like, Kiana, I don't think she wants to be you. I think she wants to be respected by the man that she laid down with and had 3 kids with. I think that she wants to be treated with some sort of deference, with some sort of understanding and respect. And by him being with you, who hates her and who she feels actively goes after her, not even feels, you did on Facebook, you posted her pictures on social media, like all the things that you're doing to shame Joella, as though Joella isn't the baby mama, and therefore not even just the baby mama, 3 children. You know what I mean? Like, that's different than like just having one kid with somebody and holding on to love that you thought would happen. Like, she and Deodric have had sex way more than 3 times. They have 3 kids together. Deodric comes out of prison and chooses you, chooses to put his energy and to live with you when she thought he was going to come out and be there for her. And then you are antagonistic towards her because he continues to sleep with you. And instead of Kiana being mad at Deodric for that, she is somehow mad at you and mad at Joella. I'm talking like y'all Joella. So it just like, I mean, I want to hear what you guys think about it, but I just am like, in the beginning, I was like, Joella just needs to move on. Joella, but I get it. I get it now. Like, she is by herself. Look at this sad, lonely creature. This sad and lonely creature is by herself. Okay. This man has laid 3 babies with her and left her to be with you. And there's nothing wrong with that. But the way that Kiana behaves is like she doesn't understand what it's like to be a baby mama. Because she is a baby mama. She won't even say Joella's name. She refers to her as like Deodric baby mama, as though like, I think there should be something given to the fact that she has 3 of his kids. Like, that's what it is to me. It's the amount. If she only had 1 kid, I could be like, okay. But she got 3 of them little kids, 3 of them little rugrats running around that got his DNA in it. And so it's just very, very weird to me. So Deodric and and Kiana are going to the lawyer's office, and the lawyer has an update because the investigator went and spoke to Joella. And the lawyer says, hey, these are the things that she wants, and she's willing to drop the charges. She wants you financial recompense. And he's like, I already paid her back for it. He didn't pay her. He paid her back for the tires, sure. But he didn't pay her back for some of the other stuff that happened. So he's like, I already gave it to her. And they're just making it seem like she's on for a money grab. And I don't think she's on for a money grab. I think she honestly thinks that they did it and wants them to be held responsible for it. That's what she wants. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially because of how antagonistic Kiana has been towards her. She's like, I want to sit down and have a conversation with you. Kiana's like, listen, I'm like, Kiana, at the end of the day, if you really want these charges dropped, go and sit and talk to that woman. Now, then here come Deodric. He gonna relate to them as like a gorilla and a lion. Now, who the gorilla? Who the gorilla in this scenario? Because them is 2 different animals to pit against each other. Why can't he say there was 2 lionesses? Because traditionally in the Black community, being referred to as any form of ape is rude. And I, for one, will not be referred to as a gorilla in any circumstance. Okay. So, who is it? Who is it? That's what I want to know. Talking about a lion and a gorilla. Who the gorilla? And also, you don't know that a lion and a gorilla can't sit next to each other. You don't know that? So they're like, oh, she just wants money. Girl, she just don't want money. It's not like she's sitting around, like she wants her shit paid for. And it's probably one of your acquaintances that did it. Ain't nobody have no reason to come after Joella except for somebody in Kiana's family. So, anyways, she wants to be me so bad, she says, but she won't get away with falsely accusing me. What are you gonna do now? You said that on camera, so anything now that happens to her is definitely gonna look like you. She definitely gonna look definitely gonna be on you. And so yeah, Joella's like, one of them gotta pay. They gotta do something because this ain't me. This ain't me. I'm not gonna do it. All right. So back to you. What are you guys talking about? Petty LaBelle says, I cannot stand him. Exactly. Megan says, of course, he does not want them talking. Q would find out that D is still cheating. Oh, you're right. Jazz says, I understand her, but she needs to move on and listen to her grandma. I'm not impressed with Kiana. Hey, how Deodric acts like he's not the cause of all this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Could have said Lion and the Tiger. Yes. Because who the gorilla? That's exactly correct. Who the gorilla is what I want to know. So anyways, I just don't like this narrative. I don't like the way these women are being pit against each other, behaving this way. And it's, Kiana is feeding into it too, from going through the pictures and posting stuff on Facebook. Like, girl, why you over here fighting over Deodric? What he got? There are other penises in Lubbock, Texas. I don't know how you say it. Lubbock? I'm not sure how you say it. Okay. Let us move on to Leticia and Keith. Now, what do you guys think about this argument? Because keep trying to say and take away credit from Leticia for holding him down. So we find out at the very beginning that she got other cases. And if she goes to trial, they could utilize her other cases against her to show that she is, I guess, a non-trustworthy person. And I'm like, what are the charges, girl? What Leticia did in her past to get arrested so many times? How do people find the law? How does the law just happen upon people in this way? Joella got shit against her. Kiana got shit against her in her past. Like, they all got stuff against them. I'm like, what y'all been doing? Because I know plenty of hood girls that don't have cases, never had no shit against them. This sounds like a very expensive thing to go through. Don't you have to pay? Isn't it expensive? That's crazy. Why do people got all these legal problems? So anyways, she gets home and she puts on her jammies and starts to cook. And she's got a lot on her mind because she is worried about prison time. And her lawyer has called her and told her that there is a plea deal that could be taken. And the lawyer would suggest the plea deal because of her past and the fact that if she goes in front of a trial, she could lose and then she would be doing up to 15 years. So she cooks dinner, and then here come what's his face, like, hey, I'm really hungry. I'm hungry like yesterday, you heard? And she's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. We all got hands. And there's Taco Bell. If you hungry, you need to go to the store and get you some food. Don't be in this kitchen telling me you hungry. Because you see I'm cooking. Don't come and tell me you hungry. Go get some food. You got hands, you got feet. Get in that car, walk to the McDonald's. Don't be telling me you hungry, okay? I can't do it. I cannot do it. Ooh, several previous arrests. Girl, what's she doing? Thank you, Marsha Endeavor. Anywho, yeah, so girl, there's a lot. Like, exactly what is going on? So the kids eat, excuse themselves, and it also looks like Kira, the youngest daughter, is hearing her talk about her issues and gets a little upset and wants to leave the table. That is what it looks like. It could have been the editing. She might have just been tired. I don't know. But the kids leave the dinner table and they end up talking about what's going to happen to her if she goes to prison. And we never hear Keith say, "Oh, don't worry, babe. If you go to prison, of course I got the kids. Like, of course I'm going to take care of Kira." It feels like she has to break it down to him that, like, yes, the older one's father is going to take care of her because he's an active parent, but the bio dad from the second baby, who knows? And if he decides to step up, he could take Kira away from Keith and from her because she's in prison. And so she's like, I need you to adopt her. And I don't know if it was edited this way to where he was looking like, I don't know, you better not go to prison because I don't know if I'm gonna be adopting anybody's kids. That's the energy that it gave off. And so I would really be interested in the like non-edited version of this to see what he actually says. Because producers will do that to have you talking shit about people. So I'm like, oh, that's not a good look. And so she's like, I held you down for 5 years. And he's like, oh, I was there too. And she's like, yeah, you were there stationary in one places with 5 levels of security to get to you 3.5 hours away. And he was like, I'm just saying, like, there's this idea that like Tisha did for Keith, but Keith did for Tisha. And I said, what? I'm sorry. Were you like, what's his face sending money back to where the girl didn't have to work? What was her name? No, I want to say River. No, starts with. It's a nickname as a full first name. I don't know. Remember that woman who lives somewhere and her husband had cameras in the house, and the cameras in the house, and he would check in on the cameras because he had been in prison for so long. They just let him do what he wanted to do, and he was making tons of money outside of in the prison gambling, so he was able to pay for his wife's life. Was that what Keith was doing, or was he just sending flowers and teddy bears whenever he could? I'm just like, what did Keith do? What did Keith do to where he's like, I did stuff too, and she's like, okay, you did stuff too, great, However, I drove 3.5 hours weekly to see you in prison. I went through 5 layers of security to be able to sit next to you and stand next to you on a backdrop and take a picture for 5 years. I brought my 3-year-old with you, Trini. Yeah. I don't remember what his name was. Teeny and Rob. Oh, girl. Trini and Rob, whatever their names were. Yeah. Like, I just want to know why he keeps trying to say, like, why doesn't he want to give her the full credit? I think it's really interesting because, again, my love after Lockup Bay, he felt the same way about his baby mama. Like, I had to talk some sense into him because he would tell me, he's like, oh, she never brought my son to see me. And I said, don't nobody owe you shit. I was like, you left her. And he was like, and I was like, you left her. You had a baby with her. And then you left her because you chose to commit crimes, got caught, and then left her. So then you wanted her to, I don't know, take a plane or a train and an automobile to get to you in upstate New York? Take a whole day with her child and possibly have to spend the night and then take a train back so that they could come and see you? He was like, oh yeah. Like, I had to get him to understand that because that was fucking wild to me that he said that about her. He's like, yeah, she didn't come see me, show me my son. I was like, don't nobody care about you. You made choices. Now, I can see if you were like this breadwinner, you took care of the family, what you was doing so that the family could thrive, and the family is still thriving, so they're coming to visit you because you only got to do 7 years or 5 years or whatever. Like, no, nigga, she know you nothing. She know you nothing. You left her. Anyways, getting on my nerves. And so it feels like Keith is talking the same shit. Like, no. I don't want it to seem like, no, you do want it to seem like. And I want you to be on the outside holding it down. Don't be in the kitchen asking me where my food is because you could walk to McDonald's then. So anyways, Tisha is mad at him and he tries to like kind of backpedal or make it better the next day, but he's holding his ground. And so she goes to meet with her lawyer. and she's free, and then all of a sudden she's very horny and would like to do just inappropriate things to him on camera, which is what she's saying. And they then go out to eat, and she's like, I want us to get remarried. Like, she's full of hope. Okay. She's like, listen, I'm not saying that I beat the charge, but I beat the jail. So whatever. And now she doesn't have to worry about him, because she's like, Keith is not going to be able to stay faithful to me while I'm in prison. I was like, yeah, this is weird that you stayed faithful to him. So anywho, she is mad at him now because he's like, man, I'm trying to say, man, I don't want to get married. We already got married. And she's like, you can't write me some vows? And he's like, man. That's hilarious. Next one, Eels, Z and Troy. Again, you guys, if you got the hee ha-has and you want to give a girl a tip, you can do so with the options down below. So we go to Zaria and Troy. Nothing exciting happens in this besides he reconciles with his baby mama, Yana. Oh, thank you, Jasmine. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let me check and see if anybody else did anything. Oh, thank you, Michelle. I see it here. Thank you so much. All right. Yes. Thank you, Jasmine. And thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it so much. So basically what happens with them is he has a conversation with Yana. He sits in her car, just like real relaxed in that woman's car. Okay. And he tells her he loves her and that he, you know, honors her for having the child and taking care of the child. And he's like, I just really hope that you and Zaria, my wife, can get along. And she's like, no, we don't have to get along. And that is wrong. That is wrong. You do have to get along, because she is going to be helping Troy with Troy. And when Troy is at her home, she's not going to just be ignoring Troy. Like, you two have to get along. You don't have to be best friends, but you have to be cordial. It's like Yana thinks that she's just not going to talk to Zaria the whole time. And I'm like, why? Whatever happened between them, I don't really recall. To me, it felt like Yana was mad at Troy for marrying a random. But Troy and Yana and Zaria have been married for 3 years now. So it felt like Yana was like feeling some type of way that he just got married to somebody else. And I guess never gave her another look or a chance or whatever, but she didn't invest in him the way that Zaria did. So she's mad at Zaria for some reason. And I don't know what Zaria said to her, but like, whatever it is, it shouldn't have been something that would have lasted the rest of your life. I don't understand what you mean. I just don't understand why she thinks that having a decent relationship with Zaria is beneficial for her child. What is she, like, let's say Zaria was petty. What if Zaria treated baby Troy poorly because of their relationship? What are you going to do? Just take baby Troy away from Troy because of that? I'm not saying y'all have to be best friends and go to brunch, but I'm saying you be cordial, especially because you're going to be coming to Zaria's house to drop or pick up the baby, right? So you're going to be cordial to her. I just don't get why this would, I just don't get it. Joseph says, I bet if you asked Yana exactly what did Zaria do or say to her, she would have no answer. It just doesn't seem clear, because she didn't say she's disrespectful. She did this to me. I don't appreciate it. Yana and Zaria ain't got to be friends. They just see each other in passing. It needs to be a simple hi and bye and keep it moving and a cordial note. Exactly. Or coordination if something happens. What if, like, Troy's in school and Zaria volunteers to help the cheerleading? You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that Zaria could end up doing for Troy because that is her stepdaughter and they're going to share a sibling. Like, it's just weird that Yana feels like that she doesn't take in the community. It feels like she's pushing away a resource because there might be a time where Troy can't be there. What if Troy goes back to prison? And what if you need that support? And what if the only way you can get some money from Troy's side of the family is through Zaria? It just doesn't make sense. It just does not make sense. It's not like Zaria is just the girlfriend. Zaria is the wife. If something happens to Troy, his money doesn't go to baby Troy. His money goes to Zaria. And Zaria then would have to be benevolent enough to give it to baby Troy. So it's just very weird. It's just unnecessary to me because I feel like she's doing things to stop baby Troy from getting the benefits of her father. There's just no reason for that. So, anywho, um, at this point at the dinner, Zaria is only 1 month pregnant and she doesn't want to tell anybody. And, he's okay with that. And then 6 months later, we find out that they're having a boy and that they haven't told anybody on his side of the family. Because that they're just kind of worried about the way that the mother would react, Karen would react. And so he's like, Mom, will you come and see me? She's like, if you send me a ticket, I'll come and see you. You gotta send me a ticket. Boy, you know I ain't got no money. And even if I did, I'm your mama. You should pay for me. So he picks her up from the train station and he's like, I got something to tell you. She's like, what, y'all breaking up? And so then we get like a remembrance of why Zaria does not like Troy's mother, because she says that she said some egregious thing and she's wildly disrespectful. And what it was is that she was drunk in their house and just talking shit to Zaria, talking about Zaria had some man up in the house. And she's like, he already knew that. Like, because Zaria had cheated on Troy while he was in prison. And so Zaria got real disrespectful. And I'm just like, how much would someone's mama need to talk shit to me for me to be as disrespectful as Zaria was? And there's something in my family structure that will not allow me to be disrespectful to an adult. Now, I'll be disrespectful to an adult who has known me my whole life, because by the time I'm disrespectful to them, it's because they've done little things throughout my life that have made me go, okay, now that I'm adult, I'm going to tell your business and I'm going to be loud about it. But a new person that I meet, if they're not like just racist, I don't know that I would cuss somebody out. But I've never been in that situation, so I don't know. I might, but it just felt like the way she was hollering at that woman about the cheating accusation was like, shut your, like, she went off on that lady. So then he's like, I wouldn't come here to tell you, I wouldn't pay for your travel to come down here if I was breaking up with her. And he's like, she's like, I'm just kidding, Troy, I'm just kidding. That's your business, you grown. And we all know that's how she feel about her kids. It's not my business, you grown. The positive and the negative of that statement. Okay. So next and last is Justine and Mike. Girl, they got this fake storyline that Mike is about to finna hit the streets to make 100 racks so that he can pay for this wedding. He asked his mama for $1,000 and she's like, how do I send it to you? He's like, just the, Cash App or whatever. And I'm like, okay. So now we got to pretend like he ain't got no money. And then we see her talking, we see Justine talking to her mother about why they don't have a good relationship. And her mother says something that I think is a valid statement, but also something that you kind of wish your parent was above. But I understand why. So she says that when Justine was 12 or 13, that she just became a rebel and wanted to do whatever she wanted to do. And Justine's like, I know. And Justine is having a hard time looking her mother in the eye this whole conversation. And I think it's because she realized that she did start acting up. But the truth is that in a perfect world, Sherry would have been able to put Justine in some kind of therapy to help her. In a not perfect world, you just become antagonistic with your preteen teenager. And I'm not saying that Sherry is wrong, because many a parent, many a mother has struggled with a teenage daughter, not understanding why the teenage daughter is acting the way she is, especially if you're an only child and it's not like you're competing with other people and you've put everything into that child. You've given them dance classes. You've done all the things. You took them to all the away games, the home games, the middle games, you've done everything for them. And then all of a sudden it feels like they turn 13, 12 and they just flip a switch and they want to do whatever they want to do. And by the time they're 17, they get pregnant. I don't think that I would survive that well as a parent, because I would feel very mad at that child for doing that to me. I think it's a human reaction. However, I feel like they both need to go to therapy because I don't think Justine is responsible for her reaction. I think she says that the reason why she felt the way she felt is because her father abandoned her. And I don't know if Justine blames her mother to a certain extent for that. She says that on her 16th birthday, that her father was at the party and she remembers telling her friends, like, oh, that's my dad over there. And then she turns around and he leaves. And I don't know if she thinks that him and the mom got into an argument, because I'm gonna tell you right now, the one thing I can imagine is Sherry cussing a man out. Is Sherry like never forgiving someone? I feel like probably every single time that man came around, she had words to say to him that made him not want to come around, which is not Sherry's fault. Because Sherry was having a natural human reaction to a man who left her 2 weeks after giving birth, right? But it's a natural reaction for, I think, Justine to be mad at her mother, feeling like her mother is the reason why she doesn't have a relationship with her father. And as an adult, she now understands that she was a couch kid. And because of that, she got with men who made her children couch kids. And she understands that it's a pathology, that and a way of being that she's in, and she's desperately trying to break out of it. And that is very admirable. But I think the hurt between her and her mother is that her mother is hurt at her for behaving the way she did as a preteen, which is a normal thing for a preteen to have so much emotions and things happening in their body that they just react the way that they react. And then other ways. So it's a relationship, if she really wants to repair it, that they both need to go to therapy to kind of overcome the hurt. Because Sherry's like, I don't understand why she has abandonment issues. Like, I don't get it. And like, I think that's indicative of who she is as a person and her generation. She's like, that man didn't want you. Get over it. Move on. I'm here. I wanted you. I took care of you. Can we all be friends here? So, like, you know, at some point we have 57 people in the room, or 47 people in the room, and like did just like 10 people leave. Were you mad because I was talking realness about Justine and Sherry? Just kidding. Anyways, that's my 2 cents about there. So we're supposed to believe that if Mike doesn't come up with this money, Justine is going to take her 5 children and leave him. I'm gonna say it again. The way that this shit is set up is that we're supposed to believe that if Mike does not give her the wedding of her dreams, Justine is gonna take her 5 children, 2 of which are under 2, and leave him. And so that's why he has to go back to the streets to make money. This storyline is real thin. Okay. This storyline is a real thin. It's paper. It's paper thin. Okay. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Let me see what you guys are saying. Jasmine says, yes, you do everything for them except the things that they need, if that makes sense. Yeah. I wish my mama and I had went to therapy together before she passed. My dad was never in my life, and I know that pain of abandonment. And her mom has had the nerve to say, how can you have abandonment issues? Yeah, she doesn't get it. With someone who is never there, but I'm here to tell you from experience it's possible. Yeah. This really hurts me because it hits so close to home. I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry. That's unfortunate. That mom don't get it. She like, I don't understand what your problem is. Just get over it. I hope Sherry didn't do that thing where the mom takes out their anger on the child because she couldn't stand the father, like Doughboy's mom from Boys in the Hood. Ooh, boy. Let me tell you, that mama hated him and loved Ricky. I mean, the way she treated that boy versus Ricky is wild. There is a certain generation of people. I mean, it happens now too, but I guess I've seen it. I've seen favoritism between parents. I've had it. I've witnessed it. I've seen it. I've been there. And it is a crazy thing to do. When it's overt favoritism, it's one thing if you're like, damn, that's my favorite child. I can't show it though. I can't show it. It's a whole other thing when you're just like actively antagonistic towards the one you don't like. Like you want them to just go away. It should have been you is what she's, oh my God, I can't even talk about it anyways. So Jazz says she didn't have a lot of sympathy for her daughter's abandonment issues. I read her mom just got arrested. It seems like there's a lot of Sherry just got arrested? Sherry got arrested for what? Cussing somebody out in public? That seems like she would do. She would cuss somebody out in public. Like, Calandra, this storyline is crazy. And go where exactly? Exactly. Where's she gonna go with them 5 churns? She gonna go stay with Sherry with them 5 churns? Sometimes the kids blame the parent that stayed because in their mind he or she could have left because of me, so it must have been something you did until they get the guidance. Yeah. Yeah. I can totally see her being mad at Sherry because she felt like Sherry did something. If Sherry was cussing out that dad every time he came around, she would see that. She would see that and feel like it was her mom who did it. Uh, my mom was a tough broad from Jersey. I forgive her. Boys in the hood, mama. That was my mom and sis. Oh my god. No, Jasmine. Oh, a DUI. Okay, 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 okay. Drinking at her job. Damn. I never make a live. Damn, girl. And that's T girl. I heard that too. Heard she was drunk at work and they told her to go home, but she didn't make it home. Damn. Now you know you got a problem if you drunk at work. I mean, you can have problems in any other cases because there's a lot of people who do drink and go to work and do whatever. But if you get caught at work drunk, you know how many times I've caught people at work drunk? I'm like, damn, you only have a 4-hour shift. You couldn't wait. You only have a 4-hour shift. And it's not even like the shift started at 9 p.m. So maybe you started drinking at 6 and you just had to come here. I mean, it's like smack dab in the middle of the day. You need some help, my friend. Here are some resources for you, but you can't come back here. I agree with Sherry. My dad wasn't around. And when people ask me if I wish he was, I say no, can't miss what wasn't there. The thing is though, I think sometimes even if you try hard as a parent to make up for that other parent being absent, you can't do everything. But what you could have on your side is your child who you took care of realizing and recognizing that you did everything you could. And I think that goes a long way too. And I don't know this, but it sounds like Justine didn't feel like Sherry did everything she could. I think Sherry thinks she did everything she could, which is the way a lot of people think. But, you know, that's crazy. When people go to work drunk, I'm always like, okay, so maybe you got away with it the first couple of times, and so you're like, oh, this is cool, I can do it. And then you just take. I'm like, damn, you know when you get out of the car and you walk up to the building that you are not okay. Like, if somebody were to come to me and be like, "Man, I didn't clock in from work, but I can't be here right now. I had a really crazy day today, and I'm not fit to be at work, and I don't have any time though. So can you help me?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, let me go ahead and excuse you for today. You go ahead and do what you got to do to get some help. Here is this. Thank you for not coming to work and wasting my time. Go ahead and go." Like, I'm going to thank you for telling me that you are drunk and you cannot work, and I'm going to excuse your time and tell you to go about your business. Woo! My high school film teacher smelled of alcohol. Oh my lordy. Sometimes they miss what was never there because they see it with family or friends and wonder why they didn't have that. She was a nurse too. No. Sherry's a nurse? Child, I don't know what to say. I will say that I gotta go. And it's been great talking to you guys. Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. I wish her all the best, and I hope that she gets the help that she needs, honestly. But that's wild. All right, you guys. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. And I'm gonna go live tomorrow at 6 p.m. CST to talk Seeking Sister Wives, and 7:30 on the dot. To talk. Wait, Toe. 6 p.m. And I have a special guest coming with me to talk to. Wait, let me make sure that's correct. I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys right. Oh yeah, tomorrow I got a special guest. I got a special guest with me tomorrow to talk Toe. And then I go live at 7:30 to talk Seeking Sister Wives. So be on time for Seeking Sister Wives because it's going to start immediately. I'm only going to try to make those 30 minutes. Unless it's some real good tea. But for now, whew, that's crazy. Yeah. All right. Are we all going to sing together? Jump in the line, rock your body on. Oh, I didn't say it. Remember to. All right, you guys, that's the end of this recap. Thank you so much for joining us. You can see me tomorrow at 6 p.m. CST talking 90 Day Fiance the other way with a very special guest, as well as you can see me talking on 7:30 CST talking Seeking Sister Wives. All right, remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye. Jump in the line, rock your body on time. Okay. I believe you. Jump in the line. Rock your body on time.